Hello, and welcome to the 60 for 30 project. My name is Xander Miller with Kenosha Public Library, and I'm sitting here with Olivia Crudup. Olivia, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to hear it from you. So, what area of Kenosha are you from, or where did you grow up?
Okay, so currently I reside in I call it the Forest Park area. In between Pershing, 60th and 75th Street, that kind of area. But I went to, I think, 5 different elementary schools, and I was all over the place in Kenosha. So I had four different homes. And then 3rd grade is when I stayed finally in Forest Park area, all the way till now. So
Okay.
Yeah. But I've lived on 22nd Ave for a little while, right across from the fire department.
Yep.
I lived by Southport on 10th Ave, so that's down closer to the beach area. And yeah.
Okay, I hear 22nd. I'm like, Northside Library is like right there. I'm like, okay, that's like that fire department, a different one.
22nd Ave and 63rd Street.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking somewhere else. Okay.
Because Northside's all the way down.
Yeah.
So I'm on the other side by Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Avenues and streets. Gotta get those right. So, how have you experienced Kenosha's culture, or what is Kenosha's culture to you?
So, I feel like coming out of high school, I wasn't really involved in the Kenosha community. I was just another citizen that was going through everyday life. But after, George Floyd of last year, so that was when it was fresh still, people were coming out and trying to help the community, and that's when I really got involved and met a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures in the community. So that's where it started for me. And I feel like a lot of it for me is the collective, the Regiment Barber Collective. That is a big hotspot for me of like where culture, especially Black culture, in Kenosha. And then the creative space downtown is another spot that I find a lot of different cultures and communities of people.
And so how have those going to like the regiment or the creative space, how have those experiences affected you?
Definitely in a positive way. Like, I see more of myself at the collective, but at the creative space, like, you just meet all different types of people, and I came in with a negative viewpoint of I'm not gonna like this or I'm not gonna fit in, but all of those people there are so welcoming. So, and same with the collective. It's more of, at the collective you'll find more of like a brotherhood and a sisterhood, or a bond. At the creative space you'll find a lot of different creatives, like just artists, everything, and you can talk about anything there and you're not going to be judged. So that's 2 safe spaces for me.
So yeah, it's like different areas where you can find people that are, have same interest or like you, essentially.
Yeah.
So I guess what kinds of activities happens in these places besides just the people being there?
Right. So the creative space, he really allows for anything to go on there. Like if you so I want to create a chess club, and the collective or the creative space will allow me to hold my chess club there. So it's just about that's an activity that you could find at either spot. At the collective, it's a lot of like event planning, or like putting heads together to make resources for people, make ends meet. At the creative space, you get a little bit more relaxed. It's like more freeing, I guess. You can just be yourself, and you can find on Thursday nights there they have the open jam, open paint, open mic. It's all 3 in 1. And then on Tuesday nights they have salsa classes and tacos. And that's all I know about right now at the creative space. But the collective, you can just pop in and you might find a business owner in there, you might find a teacher in there, and you can just make network that way, which is really cool.
So it's like both of these places, you can just kind of walk in and find people for you.
Yeah.
And And so what was it, I guess, what inspired you to seek out these places?
Really, I just was getting tired of not having a spot for Black people to just go and be. So I was looking for like-minded people that also had the same goal, and I found that in the creative space. I found that in the collective. They want to make it more inclusive for the Kenosha community, and that's what, and I was inspired because there was not a spot for me to go. Like I could say, have you ever heard of Lakeshore Nutrition?
I don't think so, no.
It's a Black-owned business in Kenosha.
Okay.
So that one just opened up less than a year ago too. So it's like I'm just looking for these little hubs, and I'm trying to find my niche and my spot in Kenosha, because for so long I felt like I don't have a spot here. I don't belong here. Like I'm just a cookie cutter person just going through the life. Like, so I wanted to make more. If I'm going to be in Kenosha, I'm going to be in Kenosha. I'm going to be doing something, you know?
Yeah, you got to, you've had enough time just being, now you want to be somewhere with, have an effect over other people.
Exactly. I want to be on the forefront and have a ripple effect to the people that I touch in a good way. So I found that in those spaces. There's a couple other too, like the Grace Lutheran Church.
Yeah.
Is amazing on 60th Street. They're very welcoming and they're very accepting. They've hosted one of my organizations for over 7 months now. So we really appreciate those types of spots,
So that's a thing with all these. They've given you spaces,
Yeah.
not just I can go here, but you can have something, an event there.
Yeah.
It seems, and that's really important.
It is to me, yes.
Okay. So you'd mentioned how things shifted for you, especially after George Floyd's what happened to George Floyd where he was murdered. I guess, what was it like, the months, days, weeks after that, where, for you at least?
I really felt hopeless, because there was the Kneel for 9 in May of last year, and I had walked up to a couple of leaders in the community and asked them what I could do for the Black community, the community in general, and there was nothing at the moment. And then I just went for weeks and didn't know where to get my start in helping. And then Jacob Blake happened, so I actually just walked. I went to the Jacob Blake block party, and I just walked up to somebody and I said, I know how to edit. I have my own camera, my own tripod. I can do all this stuff for you, and I'm willing to do it for free. I just want to help the community. So the next day he called me, and that's how I got my start. So, but in the time in between, it was just very hard to figure out where to go. So now it's now that I've figured out, you just got to put yourself out there, literally. I feel like I got to help other people know that it's easier than you think to be a part of this,
So for you, that's right now one of your goals, is getting the word out of these different places that you found, and hoping that other people can also find their place too.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Exactly. And it's more about just letting them know that what you have to say is not falling on deaf ears, or silent, ears, but you just got to know who to talk to and who's in alignment with you, and you'll be fine. I've met so many people in the last year, and I can call almost anybody and find some type of resource to help somebody. There's no saying no to somebody. So I just want other people to know in the movement that it's not, I don't know, because I just feel, I don't know, do you ever feel that way too? I'm not doing enough. What do I do for the Black community? So I just want people to know, even the little bit that you're doing or trying to do, it matters.
Yeah, there's always that feeling. It's what else is out there? What else can you do?
Yeah.
So no, I get that feeling. So following that, I guess, we talked about that as times after George Floyd, and then moving forward in Kenosha throughout the summer, throughout the coronavirus, what else has been on your mind for the Kenosha community?
You know, really my focus has kind of always been specifically making safe places for the Black community in Kenosha. But I mean, currently I'm focusing on this coalition that wants to interrupt violence in the Kenosha community before the police even have to get involved. So we can if we can help police our own communities without putting any more people in the system, that would be great. And that's one thing that I've been working on for a little over 10 months now. We have a hotline number, so we can blast it to the community. You guys can call. You'll get dispatched, and we'll send somebody out to help with any type of case that say that you just don't want the police involved, you know? So whether it be because you're worried about your safety when it comes to the police, or once again, you don't want to put someone in the system, but you do need help, or you just need a resource, then that's one of the initiatives I'm working on. And Grace Lutheran has helped us. The library has helped us actually too. They've given us a space to come in. Southwest Library has given us a space to come and hold our meetings. So it's really a community driven initiative. Like, we need Kenosha to back us up because we're going to be backing you guys up too. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. So that's one of the things. We're called the Kenosha Core.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So CORE stands for Coalition Organizing Resolution. So that's one of the things we've been working on for a while now. We got to get that going.
So it's like this. You know, I've heard the term thrown around, community policing, so much. This is what that actually looks like.
Yeah, that's what it is. So we actually there was a standoff, and our whole team was out there for about 3 to 5 hours trying to get the man to put the gun down, come out of the house. The SWAT team did get involved, but they weren't deployed because we were able to help get him calmed down and come out and reason with us. So that's just one example of what we do, but we pretty much will do it all if you need us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And also, even that relationship with the SWAT team at the time seemed to work out for really making this collaborative effort.
Right.
Has that been something you've can actually see as some form of not formal collaboration between the police and K-Corps, but as, I guess, what do you see as a potential there? We
definitely need support. We need them from the KPD. We need them to be able to work not with us, but we just need to be able to stay in our lanes and know what we can and cannot do, and what we need to do not for them. Because one thing we do, the violence interrupters never do, is snitch. We don't give names, we don't give reports, records, we don't go back to the police. So that's one thing, that we don't work with the police, but we do need support from the police to be able to do the work that we're doing and not be bothered, in a sense, you know what I mean? And Chief Larson has been a big supporter of us for this initiative, and honestly, I love him. He's a good guy. But we definitely need that support, and we're trying to bridge the gap. We want to make sure that the police are part of the community too. So we want to make sure that they're accepted or understood the same way that we want them to understand the Black community.
So it's great to hear. It's not just we're our own thing or they're their own thing. You kind of have that working relationship. It's not necessarily working together, but you're, let's say, adjacent to each other.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in K-Corps then?
So it was really weird, actually. I'm also part of Leaders of Kenosha, LOC, and that came out. That organization came out around the time of the Jacob Blake incident, but the organizer, Minister Khalif Muabel, he was looking for community leaders, and he collabed with Gregory Bennett, Portia Bennett at the time, and a couple other people in the community. And I was able to get an invite to represent Locke. So from there, we did create an executive board, and I'm currently first vice president of Kenosha Core.
Wow. So you've just, getting more involved, starting, it's only been just over a year since you said you started really exploring what's there. Now you're vice president of this kind of, I don't want to say revolutionary group, but this new concept or idea, not necessarily even new, but just a different idea of what a community might look like.
Yeah, and even there has, Mr. Ceasefire T.O. Hardiman, he's the creator of the Violence Interrupters in Chicago, so that's where it started. And we definitely have his support as well. He's come up to Kenosha, he's talked with the chief, and he definitely wants this to flourish for Kenosha because it's necessary. I believe the gun violence or violence has gone up 400% in the last 5 years in Kenosha. So it's necessary.
That's, it has been, from what I've seen, gone up. So what would you like to see as the goal for K-Core as a whole?
I would like to see, I think the goal is to, first of all, like we're doing block parties and in different areas of Kenosha, and we just basically want the neighbors to come out and meet each other and talk to each other. So it's all about, I think, creating relationships with each other in the community and getting to know not everyone, but as many people as you can. I think that's a huge goal, is building a relationship with the members of Kenosha.
So right now it's building those relationships can help, because really this is all preventative.
Yes.
So I guess, are relationships key for being a preventative group then?
Very much so. A lot of it is about knowing someone to then be able to intervene or mediate or de-escalate a situation. It doesn't help that we don't know, we just are a random face. It's not any better than a police officer walking up, in a sense. But if you have that relationship, it makes it easier for you to talk someone down or connect or relate with someone. So, and even just getting a relationship is important, because then we can hear what's going on in the community without having to have a police scanner, or, you know what I mean? We just literally have our ear to the street. And so relationships are very key to this initiative. Okay. Yeah.
And that's just, the block parties are a way to get there.
Yeah, most definitely. We have one on this Saturday, on 61st Street and 12th Ave. So we're literally just going to be taking over the streets and cooking up some food and playing some music, games. It was really fun, the first one. So we just want to be able to put that on and not charge anybody, you know what I mean? Not take from anybody. We want to be able to just give.
Wow. So I asked for what you'd like to see for K-Core, but for the Kenosha community as a whole, what would you like to see for Kenosha, say, like 5 years from now?
Oh, man. When is the Innovation Center coming up?
The KIN?
Yeah.
It's like...
Was that longer than 5 years?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see something there.
Just something there?
Before they get there. I don't like that initiative too much, but I'm trying to learn more about it. So, so I would like to see. I'm going to go back to this. So, I would like to see more Black businesses, or more Black business owners. I want to see that flourish. I want to see Uptown flourish, because the people in Uptown are putting in the work, not because outsiders are coming in and helping. However, so I think I would really like to see, once again, relationships, because I think that, honestly, the Jacob Blake incident and George Floyd last May, it really brought together a lot of people, I think, more than we know. Like, at least for me, I know so many people in the community that actually do care and like will help with give a resource or their time, money, anything, just because they're good people. So there's a lot more good people than I thought in Kenosha. I just didn't know. I didn't meet enough people, and that's one thing I think it would really help if everybody could just get to know each other a little bit more in Kenosha. It's 100,000, but I don't know, it still feels so small. Like once you get out there a little bit, you're out there enough.
It's like as soon as you know one person, then you get to find someone else.
Get five more, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that about Kenosha, and I think that will really help just bridge gaps of misunderstanding.
So, we started with your development after George Floyd. I know we've mentioned Jacob Blake and K-Corps becoming a thing. What else was on your mind after the shooting of Jacob Blake then?
For me, I guess what was on my mind was my little brother, and he's also a resident of Kenosha, and my father. I guess that, so after Jacob Blake, the pandemic was going on, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So I haven't really even thought about that because I was too focused on the injustice that needed to be corrected. So that's a kind of hard question for me. I guess I was just like blinded by that whole incident,
And so it's like the pandemic suddenly took a back burner.
Yeah, for me at least. Because I knew what mattered more to me, and it was working on the movement, and that was just more important to me than staying in the house. This just happened in our community, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't feel the pressure to come out there, then I don't know, but I did.
So despite, we had been locked down since March of that year, mid-March of that year. It hadn't been, I want to say almost 6 months by that point.
Yeah.
And so you made the decision that's like, I need to be out there rather than thinking about the pandemic at the time.
Most definitely. Actually, I broke my leg July 28th of that year, last year. So there was one thing we did for, we wanted to get early voter registration out, and we did this march from Kenosha to Milwaukee, 38 miles in October, and I marched the whole way.
Kenosha to Milwaukee?
Yeah, 30-something miles, 36 or something like that. But it was really cool. Just like, that's how serious I was about it, was that my leg is broken, I don't care. If I can get it to move, if I can drag that thing, I'm out there. That's how important it was to me.
Wow. That's a long way to walk.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I'm just thinking about that, and it just was broken. So I can see how you're really prioritizing your community here.
Yeah.
And supporting that, supporting your community. When it's, we're close to a year from the anniversary of Jacob Blake's shooting. Pandemic's still here.
Yeah.
What has been on your mind as we approach this anniversary?
So sometimes it feels like nothing has really been done, or it looks like that on the outside or from an outsider looking in, but I just see that so many people are trying still. Like, nobody's giving up, It's still important to people in Kenosha that legislation is changed, policies are changed. You know, more people, even myself, I'm more focused on that side of activism than, I guess, the marching or the protest. Not saying anything's wrong with that. It's just that now we gotta flip. We gotta change a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so how I feel about, you know, the 1 year anniversary coming up, I really hope that a lot of people can look back and just kind of take in what's been going on and either try to be the change or get out of the way for the change that's coming. So I just really hope that a lot of people can see, like, we kind of grown in Kenosha. Like, I feel like obviously something bad happened, but a lot of good things have come out of that. Like, and we shouldn't be ashamed of that. So.
Yeah. So, there's anything that we've missed, or that you'd like to let the Kenosha community know, or leadership in Kenosha know? What would that be?
I think I would like the leaders of Kenosha to know that there's a lot, but we're so much better together and so much stronger together. And some of them don't even know each other. And it's like, man, if only this guy could get with this girl, they would be a power team. Like, but they just don't even know to make that connection. And so it's just, I think that, you know, the leaders need to realize that we're not fighting against each other. We're all got, you know, a common goal, and that's to see Kenosha be better.
And that's what you want to see, is to let people know that Kenoshans are coming together and it's being better.
It is, yeah, I agree. Because I don't know, a couple years ago, I'd probably say, I'm not staying here, I'm not raising kids here. But now I want my kids to see what I've done, what I'm going to leave for them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you so much for being here and saying all of that. This has been wonderful.
It has been amazing, and it's been really nice talking to you and meeting you, so thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Anytime.